What is up, denizens of the interwebs? It's atrocious here coming at you another video, and this time we're doing one of my favorite things, calling out narcissists in various industries. Specifically, this time we're talking about Hollywood with the new Wicked movie and their poster that was getting absolutely wrecked online. Now, before I start, I want to make it very clear, I don't know anything about Wicked. I have not seen Wicked, I am not interested in Wicked, I have not read the book, I have not seen the Broadway play, and I will likely not see the movie. However, my twin sister, little sister, and mom are all incredibly huge fans of this IP, so I went to them to get some information about it to make sure I'm not just talking out of my rear. Preambling aside, like, subscribe, and let's get into this. So the crux of this issue is coming from Deadline, and it's being reported in many places. I'm not quite sure where the first place to report this was, but it's coming from Cynthia Erivo, the woman who's playing Elphaba, or the Wicked Witch's Instagram, in which she responds very negatively to the poster edits that have been going around, saying that none of it is funny and it degrades me. Written by Armando Tinoco. So the center of the issue is coming from this poster right here, which is the official poster for the upcoming Wicked film, which looks a little something like this. And the point of this poster is to pay homage to the very famous Broadway musical one. And while I know nothing about the play, I very much know the poster, and if asked to recount what the poster for Wicked looks like, I probably could do it very easily. Because despite not caring at all about the property, there's just something about the way that this poster is designed with the black and the white, the whispering in the ear, the smirk, and all in all, just the different use of colorization and the way that they take advantage of negative space. It really is a very memorable and very simplistic design that most people could easily remember and transcribe this if they were asked to. And so a lot of people I know, even myself, when I saw this, they're like, what the hell am I looking at? This looks nothing like it. This looks like a bad AI, terrible rendering that has nothing to do with the actual movie. I mean, why do you see her face? Why her lip screen? Why does she look miserable? She looks like an absolute cow in this picture with the most miserable expression on her face. She looks like she's absolutely bored out of her mind and pissed off that she has to be here. It makes no sense. That's really, the face is the only problem with this poster. I don't mind the change in color, the fact that it looks more like a photograph, but the fact that her face looks like this is a massive issue when compared to the old poster. So one fan took it upon himself to go and edit the poster to make it look significantly more accurate to the Broadway version, to which Cynthia Erivo, or the actress playing Elphaba, is calling him out for making it so it hides her face. As is pointed out here, the biggest issue is the lack of the red makeup and the fact that her eyes are showing, which is not present in the original. To which Cynthia Erivo refers to this as the wildest, most offensive thing I've ever seen. Now, that must mean that it's pretty bad, right? I can't imagine at all what it would be to be called the most offensive, most wildest thing she's ever seen. Let's take a look. That's it. Angled the hat, gave her a smile, changed the background to look a bit more green like the initial poster, and gave her the red lips. What exactly is the problem here? I mean, this isn't even me being sarcastic. I'm legitimately asking what is wrong with this image. Well, thankfully, Cynthia decides to tell us. This is the wildest, most offensive thing I've ever seen, equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posting the question, is your cat green? None of this is funny, none of it is cute, it degrades me, it degrades us. How exactly does having an accurate image that still shows your face degrade you? We'll get into it. The original poster is an illustration. I'm a real-life human being who choose to look right down the barrel of the camera to you, the viewer, because without words we communicate with our eyes. Our poster is an homage, not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me, and that is just deeply hurtful. And there it is. She tells us exactly the crux of the issue, exactly what's the matter in this line, is to erase me. That's the issue. She doesn't see it. She has the complete and utter wrong mindset when it comes to playing Elphaba. When you play a character who is an established character, you are not playing yourself, you are playing the character. You, the actor, does not matter. For all we know, you could have a friggin' donkey playing the role, and if as long as it's true to the character, no one's gonna complain. We don't give a shit about the actress, because the actress isn't the person on display. The person on display is the character of Elphaba. The absolute core of the issue for Cynthia is the fact that she isn't the main focus of this poster. She sees it as absolute erasure, and the fact of the matter is, this is not an actress. She is not a character actress. She is a narcissist who needs to see herself seen. And the other thing she doesn't mention is her co-star is significantly reduced as well. The fact that most of her face is now covered up by her hand, with the only thing you see is her eyes. And you know what, Cynthia, yes, when not using words, we do in fact communicate with our eyes. But you know what else we communicate with? Our mouths. A smile means something to most people. And by hiding the eyes, it actually tells a much bigger message. It tells us we don't know what she's actually thinking. Because while your eyes can look kind or they can look angry or anything else, by hiding the eyes, you cut off half of the emotion being present there, which I feel like is heavily important. Now, I'm not sure, because like I said, I don't know much about the play, but from what I understand about it, Elphaba is a bit of a misunderstood character, and hiding her intentions is a key part of that. But anything is better than whatever the fuck you have over here, because you look miserable, you look bored, and you look tired. You look so unreasonably angry that you're practically playing into stereotypes over this. I have no faith in this anyway, as the baseline of a project, especially when it comes to race swapping. I'm already immediately hesitant, and given the fact they don't care about the IP, that helps a lot. But like I said, I know many people who do care about the IP, so I reach out to them, and I ask them their opinions. One person who I spoke to said there's going to be creative licenses so long as it maintains the integrity of the story and doesn't Disneyfy the ending. When I asked her what she meant by Disneyfy the ending, she said that she was worried that they would be making it so that either her boyfriend is the one who saves her, because I guess there's some love interest thing going on, or they completely cut the love story out entirely. So that one person doesn't seem to mind the changes to the poster nearly as much as most of the other people I spoke to. Now, I do want to be very clear that the people who I spoke to about this are not people like me or the people who will be watching this video. They're normies, and I mean that in the nicest sense. These are people who are not involved in the culture war ideologies at all, and they are the average audience. These are the people who would normally be going to theaters every couple of weeks whenever a big tentpole movie or something they're specifically interested in. These are not these are not geeks, these are not nerds, these are not overly passionate people. These are standard movie-going audience members who do like the Broadway play. Another person mentioned that if it's a bad adaptation, I'll cry, and said that she's a little hesitant about the poster, but doesn't think it's a big deal because she expects them to make some changes. And she also says she doesn't think one little change on the poster is a big deal. The other person who I asked said that, I don't know how it's offensive. If it was a new story, it'd be one thing, but people are going to compare it to the play in every way possible. It has nothing to do with her, just the poster and what the creators decided to do with it. If you don't want to subject yourself to the fan base and fan talk, don't do a huge film adaptation like this. And that is exactly what I'm saying. And here's the thing, Cynthia, if you're upset about people asking you offensive questions, welcome to the internet. You're going to get a lot of mean comments, you're going to get a lot of memes made about you, and that's just the nature of it is. If you can't handle that, delete your Instagram, delete your Twitter, and don't do any off-the-wall roles that'll get you that kind of scrutiny. Because people make these kind of jokes on the regular. This is the way that people talk. It has nothing to do with you. In fact, no one gives a shit about you, Cynthia, as the actress. People care about the character Elphaba. It is a comment about the character Elphaba, not about you. You are completely removed from this circumstance. And Twitter is equally feeling very hesitant and even having major problems with these kind of statements. For instance, Anna, that Star Wars girl saying it's not a erasement, it's an homage to the original Broadway Wicked poster. This perpetual victim mentality needs to stop. To which this Rue mentioned, if she is erased from the movie, then she can give the money back if she's not in it. Absolutely. And Steph from My Nerdy Home, I was actually looking forward to Wicked because I'm a huge fan of the Broadway show, and then I read this. No one is degrading the actress. They're merely mirroring the most iconic art from one of the most successful and most beloved Broadway shows. As the actress who plays Elphaba, you should know that it was done out of love of the Broadway show and not done out of hatred. This pissed me off. And then from Master of the TDS, if you want another reason to avoid the Wicked movie, here you go. And of course, I had to follow up. No one's going to see Wicked, but the people who would aren't going to see the actress. What a narcissist. Now, I was tapping my phone, so I had a bit of an error. Go follow me on Twitter, by the way. It's the same handle as on here. She has no interest in being seen as Elphaba. She has no interest in playing Elphaba. All she cares about is being seen as herself, because she is, as I said, a narcissist. She only cares about her own representation, because she cannot fathom that people don't give a shit about her. They care about the character. And even going to the posts that make a big deal of it first on Twitter, someone down here says, communicating with your eyes. Meanwhile, the smile on Heading Face says way more than anything she's telling us, because so far we haven't seen her act. That poster is terrible because she's not acting in it. She's just staring. She's giving us a nice big RBF, but she's not doing any kind of acting. And then somehow someone being even more of a woke piece of shit, they put her in green makeup. They already erased her black identity. Because of course to these people, and by these people I mean the wokosos, they can't help but separate two identities. They cannot fathom the idea of someone playing something other than their identity. Because guess what? Elphaba is a green witch. She has nothing to do with our concept of race. And then a lot of people are criticizing her because she had originally also posted this to her Instagram, which makes it absolutely confusing why this is okay to post, but the edit on the trailer to make it accurate isn't. It's a little bit of a double standard that nobody's got any goddamn time for. So given the bad state of the trailer and all the stuff we hear coming about it, the absolute state of Hollywood as it is, it's not too surprising to me that this movie looks like it's going to be absolute trash, and with the actress coming out crying racism, misogyny, and all those buzzwords in the way that she's referring to how she's being treated with this poster. She's just a narcissist, as is most of these adult pretenders in Hollywood, and I really hope this movie flops just so she can get punished for being such a moron about how she's handling this. And much to my shock, this just got a whole lot worse actually, because I've now discovered the reported budget for Wicked movie. I didn't realize this movie is being split into a two-part series, with the first part coming out this year near Thanksgiving, and the second part coming out exactly 1 year later, also near Thanksgiving. According to IMDb Pro, Wicked Part 1 has a budget of $145 million, and Part 2 has a budget of $165 million. That means that the two movies together, the first movie has to get a lot of good word of mouth to succeed. The movie is not going to succeed on its own because it's not something the majority of the population are going to care to see, especially not $145 million worth of audience care to see. The first part alone is going to have to gross nearly $300 million just to break even. And that's not accounting for both parts, which means they're going to need at least $600 million if they want to make any money. And fully understand, if the first movie flops, no one is going to watch the second movie. If the first movie is bad, nothing will help the second movie. So they really better make sure that they keep the rest of the marketing and the rest of the PR incredibly tight and incredibly focused. Because if they're not careful, it's going to go really badly, really fast. So we'll have to see if this goes anywhere other way than absolutely bad. This movie could be an even bigger flop than Joker 2 was. And that would be pretty funny to see. While I never really hope for any projects to fail, I do when the leads of those projects are coming out and making a fool of themselves by running their mouths, and therefore deserve the movie to flop. But for the people who really like Wicked, like the people in my family who I consulted, I really hope for their sake the movie is good. But let me know down in the comments, are you excited for this movie? Do these statements worry you at all or make you convinced this movie's gonna suck? Or do you just have any feeling at all towards Wicked as either a Broadway play or a movie? But that's pretty much what I've got, so I will see you guys on the next one.